surds and other radicals. So a radical is any number written with a radical sign. So like rad 2, rad 3, rad 4. Right? Those are all radicals. A surd is a real irrational radical. So what happens there is like one of these actually simplifies 2. So that's not a surd because it's 4 and 8 rad 4 is 2. These guys are surds. Because we don't know what the radical 2 is or the radical 3 is. They're not nice numbers. Now I'll tell you right now, surds is more used in like other parts of the world, like the UK. Not so much in America. Right, as another example, rad 4 is a radical but not a surd because rad 4 is just 2. Radical 1/4 is just 1/2. Also a radical, not a surd. By definition, when you multiply two radicals, so if I give you rad 3 times rad 3, what you do is you multiply the radicals inside of them, you get rad 9, so you just get 3. So in general, if you just have multiplying two radicals of the exact same number, you can just cancel them out and get just that number. That number's not 9, it's an A. I just can't write my A's really nicely. So there we go. A radical is never negative. We should know that just from that. If you have a negative radical, that means it's imaginary, and we don't deal with imaginary in IB. Other rules, if you're multiplying two radicals, so if I multiply rad 3 times rad 2, all you do is multiply the stuff inside the radical, so you get rad 6. So this rule here is telling us. Likewise, you could break up a radical, right? If I have rad 6, I can always break that up rad 3 times rad 2. So it also works that way. And the same thing happens when you're dividing. Okay, let's simplify some of these. Rad is a single surd, right? So, hey, rad 2 times rad 3. I just did that one. Rad 6. The next one, so rad 18 or rad 16, since they're both radicals, you bring them together, and you get rad 18 over 6 over 6, and you can reduce that to rad 3. 18 over 6 is 3. So there we go. Next one, we want to write a radical in simplest form. So we want to break up this radical 72. So a lot of people do a tree thing, right? So find two things to multiply, get 72. If I do a tree, I always start with a small number. So like 2 and 36. Right? Then I always cross out the thing that I broke down. So I know, okay, that's gone. Now here, once you know a radical, you can stop. 36, we should all know the radical, it's 6. So this just turns out to be 6. So now you have this. So what happens there, that goes on the outside. This gets left over and stays on the inside. So it's 6 rad 2. That's how you simplify a radical. Another way to do it, I actually do upside down division a lot. So I do the same idea, I go 72 and I break it down. I go, okay, that is 2 times 36. And then I'll go, okay, wait, I know what the radical 36 is. That's 6. I'll just stop there. If you didn't know it though, if you kept on going, you just do the same thing. Okay, well, it's something small. 2 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 3. And the general rule of radicals, if you have any pairs, they come out. Anything that's left over stays on the inside. So it'll be 2 times 3 and rad 2. Right? The pair of 2's came out, made this 2. The pair of 3's came out, made that 3. That 2 is left on the inside. Anytime you have stuff on the inside or stuff left on the inside or stuff on the outside, they multiply. So you get 6 rad 2. Right, so any way you want to do it. Over here I have 108. So I'm going to do this upside down division way because I don't know what two things that multiply to get 108. So I'm going to do 108 and I start really small. If I do upside down division, I always use a small number. Like something I know is a prime, 2 or 3. So 2, and I get 54. And I can do the same thing again. Okay, something I know that breaks into 54, 2 again, because it's even, and I get 27. Now here, as I was saying, I can take the square root of 27. I can't. There's no square root of 27, so I do it again. So that breaks down 27 is 3. 3 times 27 divided by 3 is 9. So here's the thing where I could stop and go, wait, I know square root of 9 is just 3, so that could come out. You could just be like, oh, that's 3. So my radical here, I have a 3 on the outside. I also have a pair of 2's. So that means that a 2 comes out. And then this guy's left all alone on the inside. So I get 6 rad 3. So that's one way to do it. Again, if you want, you can always do upside down. You can always do a tree diagram. And it would have been kind of the same thing. It's the same concept. So either way you like to do it. More simplifying. Now this one knows how it has a radical stuff inside the radical and stuff outside the radical. So when you multiply two things like this, you always multiply the stuff inside the radical times the stuff inside the radical, so I get rad 15. And you multiply the stuff outside the radical times the stuff outside the radical. So 2 times 3 is negative 6. Right, so you multiply the outside by the outside and the inside by the inside. And then I cannot break down 15, it's just 5 times 3. So that's my answer. Same thing with this one. Multiply 2 by the 1. And on the inside I got 6 times 12. Now I think 6 times 12 you could break down. With 6 times 12, what, 70 something? 72. But instead of multiplying it, I'm just going to break it down here. I know what 12 is. 12 is 2 times 6. And look it, I have a pair of 6s. So they come out. There's already 2 outside, so remember, anytime you have 2 things on the outside or the inside, they multiply. And you reduce these, you get 12 rad 2. Like that. Right, so again, what I did here was I multiplied the inside, 6 times 12, but I didn't actually multiply. I just wrote them next to each other, these are being multiplied. And then I broke down 12, and I was like, hey, that's 2 times 6. I already have a 6, so these are pairs. So remember, you have a pair, you come out, so there's a 6 on the outside, there's already a 2 on the outside, so those multiply, you get 12. And I left the little 2 by itself on the inside. Next one, I'm going to simplify this a little bit. Rad 5. Rad 10 times rad 2 is rad 20. And then here I can reduce. These are both radicals, so you can combine it. So 2 has to stay on the outside, but you can combine the radicals. So it's 1/2. And then that reduces to what, 1 over radical 4? Right? 20 divided by 5 is 4, so I probably should write it like this. So 2 on the outside. If you reduce the radicals, you get this. Right? 5 divided by 20. Right, square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. So 2 times 2. So I just get 1/4. More simplifying. Now when you add 2 radicals, you can only add the ones that are exactly the same. So it's just like doing the variables. So 3 rad 3 plus 5 rad 3 would be 8 rad 3. 2 rad 2 minus 5 rad 2 would be negative 3 rad 2. They should have done something that had different ones. So if I gave you, I don't know, 2 rad 3 plus 3 rad 2, these you cannot do anything. They're separate, right? The radicals 3, the radicals 2, you cannot add them. You can't do anything with this one. So that's how you add radicals, just like adding variables. The next one, like these, you can add these, right? 75 and 27, but you don't just walk away, you're not just done. These could be broken down. So let's break them down. 75, I'm going to do some upside down division. Break that by 5. 5 goes in 7 1 times 25, so 15. That's 3 and 5. Right, I have a pair of 5s. Remember, we have a pair that come out, so it's 2 times 5 on the outside. Inside, there's a 3 left over. So I get 10 rad 3. 27. 3 and 9. I know the square root of 9 is 3. So that comes on the outside. So I'm going to get 15 on the outside, rad 3. Remember, the 15 comes from the fact that 27 is 3 times 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So it goes on the outside, and you multiply by what's on the outside already, which is a 5. So negative 15. So now I have 10 rad 3 minus 15 rad 3. Combine it. They're both the same radical. Negative 5 rad 3. Next one. So we're going to expand and simplify, so we just distribute. So I get 6 rad 5 minus radical 25, also known as 6 rad 5 minus 5. Next one, you got to distribute here. So we're going to multiply this 6 by both of these. 6 plus 12 rad 3. Now keep in mind, right, 6 times this one, you only can multiply the 6 by the number on the outside. Radicals get multiplied by radicals, outside numbers get multiplied by outside numbers. So 6 only gets multiplied by the 2. Then distribute the other side. Rad 3 times 1 is just rad 3. Rad 3 times that. Again, you can only multiply the radicals, so it's 2 rad 9. Radical 9 is just 3. Now you have to multiply these two, because radical 9 is 3, but 3 times 2 is 6. Again, you can go a little faster. Anytime you multiply a radical by itself, you just get rid of it. So it's just 2 times 3. Add up like terms, and I get 12 plus, you don't see a 1 there, but there always is a 1. So this is 12 plus a 1 13 rad 3. Last two, let's get through these. So simplify this. Now keep in mind, when you simplify a square, you're multiplying by itself. You don't just distribute because it's a binomial. You can't do it. You could do it if it was like this. Then yeah, let's do both of them because there's no plus or minus sign to break it up. But anytime there's a plus or minus sign in there, you can't do it. What you have to do is rewrite it. So 5 minus rad 2 times 5 minus rad 2. And then all we do here is simplify. So distribute. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times that is negative 5 rad 2. To the inside, negative 5 rad 2. And then this one, negative rad 2 times a negative rad 2 is a positive, so a negative 2. Or rad 2 times rad 2 is rad 4, or 2. Anyway, from here you can add up like terms, add up those, and add up these, and I get 27 minus 10 rad 2. There you go. The last one here, so we're going to distribute it. Now, if you know it's a difference of two squares, you actually can take a shortcut and just do a difference of two squares. I'm going to do the long way first, and I'll come back and do a difference of two squares. So when we distribute, all you do is multiply the 7 by both of these terms, and move on, multiply this term by both of these terms. So I'm going to do that here. So 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times this guy, remember you can only multiply the 7 by the number, which is negative 2, so negative 14 rad 5. And then you do the next one. 2 rad 5 times 7 makes it a positive 14 rad 5. And then 2 rad 5 times that will give me negative 4 rad 25. Okay, because 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, 5 times 5 is rad 25, or just 5. If you want to do a shortcut. Radical 25 is 5. Let's simplify. These cancel out. I get 49 minus, no, forget, these get multiplied, 20. So you get 29. That's the answer. Now again, if you would have noticed, this is a difference of two squares, right? A minus b times a plus b. So if you ever notice that, you can just go, wait, it's just the first term squared minus the second term squared. So we could just gone first term, 7 squared, minus the second term, 2 rad 5 squared. Now again, no plus and minus here, so I could just distribute. 2 squared is 4. Rad 5 squared is just 5. So I get 49 minus 20, or 29. So it works either way.